Hi, I'm your host, Sam Chow of the hit TV show Education Improvement, where we discuss ways to improve your education. Because remember, it's cool to stay in school. Today we received a letter from little Betty Black, all the way from Laval, Quebec. Let's see what it says, shall we? Dear Sam, I'm trying to figure out what province I should go to learn Mandarin Chinese 10. My dad is moving to either BC or Alberta, and I need to pick which one has the best program for me. I don't know, I just want to have fun. Please help me. It's very important. Thanks, Betty. That was very touching. Let's get some awes, shall we? Aww. Well, Betty, let's see what we can do for you. Hi. So we have 3 of our staff, and they are going to infiltrate the Alberta schools and the British Columbian schools to find out your answer, Betty. They're each going to go to each classroom, and they're going to look at the 4 general outcomes of Alberta and the 4 curriculum organizers of British Columbia. Let me introduce them for you. This is Mr. Monkey, this is Mr. Toad, and this is Mr. Mushroom. They have graciously volunteered their time for the betterment of the education system. By the end of this show, Betty, I hope you decide what is best for you. So we're here in the Alberta classroom, in the Alberta Chinese classroom, where we're learning some Mandarin. And we have here 3 very special guests. Please introduce yourself and tell us your favorite people, your favorite places to go, and your favorite things to do. We'll start with you on the very far left. 你好，我的名字 Mr. Monkey。我喜欢 King Kong。我喜欢住在加拿大。我喜欢吃饭。谢谢。And thank you. You in the middle. 你好，我的名字 Mr. Toad。我喜欢 Mario。我去在意大利。我喜欢就打篮球。And you at the end there. 你好，我的名字 Mr. Mushroom。我喜欢去在意大利。我喜欢 Mario。我喜欢看电视。谢谢。Well, thank you guys for demonstrating what the application general outcome is like. Alright guys, the teacher wants us to read a text to fulfill our language competence. Let's give it a shot. 医生，我肚子烫死了。你昨天吃什么东西了？我姐姐上个星期过生日，蛋糕没吃饭。昨天晚上我吃了几口，夜里肚子就烫起来了。今天早上上了好几次厕所，你把蛋糕放在哪儿了？ 放在冰箱里了，放了几天了。5. 聊天了。发烧吗？不发烧。Alright. Now let's practice reading some of our words. Doctor. 医生。Belly. 肚子。Aching. Tongue. Yesterday. 昨天。Eat. 吃。动式。Object. Sister. 姐姐。Week. 兴致。Birthday. 生日。Cake. 蛋糕。Yesterday. 昨天。Evening. 晚上。And today. 今天。Toilet. 厕所。Refrigerator. 冰箱。Fever. 发烧。Thank you. Alright guys, so to test your strategies, general outcome of the Alberta Mandarin Program of Studies, we're going to test your memorization. I'm going to say the English word, and you tell me what it is in Chinese. Let's start with you, Mr. Monkey. Doctor. 医生. You, Mr. Toad. Belly. 肚子. And you, Mr. Mushroom. Deaf. 是. Good job, gentlemen. Let's move on to the second round. Mr. Monkey. Tell me how to say aching. Tongue. Well done. You, Mr. Toad. Tell me how to say yesterday. 昨天. Good job. Mr. Toad. Tell me how to say eat. 吃. Good job, it was close. Alright, so let's move on to the next level. Mr. Monkey, how do you say sister? 姐姐. There we go. Mr. Toad, how do you say week? 星期. Alright. And Mr. Mushroom, how do you say birthday? 生日. Alright. Well, you guys seem to be holding up your memorization very well. And that's all there is to it. Memorization. Alright guys. So for the last general outcome of the Alberta Chinese Program of Studies, we have global citizenship. In global citizenship, we expect you to participate in activities that reflect elements of Chinese character. So today, we are going to talk about Chinese dining etiquette. Does anyone have any questions so far? Oh yes, Mr. Mushroom, what's your question? I don't have any hands. How am I going to use the chopsticks? Well, that's an excellent question, Mr. Mushroom, and we will deal with that soon. But we're going to talk about the history of chopsticks and how you use chopsticks. And then we'll talk about little other things later on. So how do you use chopsticks? Well, you hold them like this. The history behind chopsticks was that the Chinese believed that the chopsticks were more civilized than, say, the regular fork or spoon or knife, which they used in combat. They believed that the chopsticks were more adequate and it was more display of mannerism. So now let's talk about the pouring of drinks. Nowadays, in modern times, you'll see many Chinese people put their hand down. Whenever they want to drink, they'll simply do a little tap on the table. To the West, this seems rather rude and different than what we're accustomed to. But the historical background behind is that back in ancient China years ago, the emperor decided that he wanted to go out into the streets and see how the people were like. So the emperor brought along many of his servants and his bodyguards to walk with him. So whenever they were in public, they could not bow to him. So as a sign of respect and bowing to the emperor in disguise, the servants, every time the emperor would pour tea or any type of drink, would go, and then the emperor would then pour a bit of drink to his servants and bodyguard. So there you have it. Mr. Monkey, Mr. Toad, and Mr. Mushroom, you have experienced 4 of the general outcomes in the Chinese Mandarin program of studies in Alberta. Let's take you to British Columbia now, shall we? Alright, so we're in British Columbia right now, in a British Columbian classroom, and I believe our stars are participating in the communication curriculum organizer, where they're practicing different vocabulary, and one of them is pretending to be a vendor of some sort, a little role playing. Let's see what they're doing, shall we? 你好，我是买一个 gum， 什么钱？一个 gum 什么物钱？够吗？你好，我是买2个 gum， 什么钱？2个 gum 是10分，够吗？我很多钱了，太贵了。什么一个 gum 吗？一个 gum 5的钱。好，我买一个 gum 了。你呢？我都买一个 gum。好。Alright, so for the next curriculum organizer of acquiring information, the teacher wants us to watch a Chinese movie and try to figure out and guess what might happen based on the dialogue. Let's watch some movies. Alright, so now we have to experience some creative works according to the third curriculum organizer. So let's listen to some Chinese music and learn some words from there.
冷咖啡离开了杯垫，我忍住的情绪在很后面。拼命想挽回的从前，在我脸上依旧清晰可见。
Alright guys, so I want you to talk about your heritage, your family background, where you're from, when you immigrated, or if you grew up in Canada. Please talk about that. Alright, so the teacher wants us to talk about our heritage, our family, where we're from. Let's talk about that. 我的家庭 有4个人，我有爸爸，我有妈妈，我有弟弟。我家庭住在加拿大20的年，所以加拿大和我家庭有一个弟弟，我弟弟在加拿大出生，我在香港出生，我妈妈爸爸香港出生。Mr. Monkey， 你呢？ 我家庭有3个人，我有妈妈，我有爸爸和我。我美国出生了，我美国有很多朋友。我纽约出生，我住在美国 12年了。我爸爸的美国出生，我妈妈的美国出生，我美国长大了。Mr. Mushroom， 你呢？我意大利出生，我有4个人。 我家庭很大了，我有妈妈，我有爸爸，我有姐姐。我家庭喜欢意大利的晚饭，所以我家庭越来越大，因为我家庭 喜欢吃意大利饭，谢谢。So there you have it, Betty. 2 case scenarios laid out for you. 4 curriculum organizers for BC, 4 general outcomes for Alberta. Let's talk to our amazing cast and see what they think about each classroom that they were at. The BC classroom or the Alberta classroom, shall we? I liked the Alberta curriculum better because the Alberta curriculum, I got to learn the content. I'm not very good at at Chinese, so I want to learn a little more. And I just came from Italy, so I wanted to learn more about Chinese. And I think the Alberta curriculum builds up and allows more textbook and allows more practical learning to occur. So that's why I choose Alberta. I liked the British Columbia curriculum better because the British Columbia curriculum allowed me to be more hands-on. I like to be more hands-on. I like to experience the culture, and it allowed me to watch movies. It allowed me to listen to different music. It allowed me to talk about my heritage. It was a lot better, and I'm more of a hands-on person, and I like experiencing the culture instead of just reading textbooks all day long. So that's why I choose BC. I like them both. I think you need a combination of both in order to be successful in learning the language. It's good that Alberta has more content and practicality and more technical types of learning, which I really need coming from Italy. But at the same time, I think it's also good to be able to go and practice your language and be able to listen and look at real scenarios that are more relevant to what I'm going through. So in the best world, I want to combine BC and Alberta curriculum to make one. Well, Betty, you heard what the cast had to say. If you want to have a more technical approach and learn from the textbook and listen to the teacher, and that's it, if that's your style of learning, then I highly suggest you go to Alberta. If you're more of a hands-on and you want to experience the culture and see what is relevant in terms of today, I suggest British Columbia. Whatever is best for you, I'll let you decide. Thank you for watching Education Improvements. I'm your host, Sam Chow, and remember, it is cool to be in school.